I never really received, not saying that I didn't receive gifts. I did, but I received them not as a reward for something, but as a necessity. Like, I need this, you know, okay, all right, we'll get that for you. I need that, we'll get that for you. So I never grew up equating receiving or the giving of gifts to equal an expression of affection.
Yeah.
So, which I can even see the correlation in my relationships over the years, where if, regardless of whether it's friend, intimate relationship, if the person needs something, I'll get it for them, but I will never get them something as a token of my affection, because I feel this for you, so therefore I'm getting you this.
Yes.
So, that's just because of the model that I grew up in. A token, what I learned in the model that I grew up in, okay, let's take the model that I saw from my mom, was more an emotional expression, was more the things that they did to impact you on a daily basis or in the moment to trigger certain emotions within you. So to me, my working definition, it's an action, it's a verb. You have to actually do something with your presence, right? As an expression. It wasn't the verbal form of it. It was more the actual, engagement, display of affection, whether it's public, private, doesn't matter. So I never shied away from that, when I grew up in my own relationships. But again, now from then till now, did I learn a lot of things in between and kind of change and, take out some things and added some things in? Absolutely. But yeah, that was my initial experience. So, but now to add on to that, as I grew older and I came into my own, and this is why I think, establishing a working definition for love first and foremost before you get into the unconditional part is important, because again, listen to the way that you and I just described it. It was two completely different experiences.
Correct.
Now, can anyone write a book or, write a model and say, this is the correct model? I personally don't think so. I don't think that there's any one working model that anyone can say, this is the all in all supreme. And if you try to say, well, a human should love like the way a deity or a divine being love, I think that's impractical. I know there's quite a few people that try to equate those two, but I don't really think that they're equatable. I don't think you can put them on the same level and say that a human being should love in the capacity that a divine being, all seeing, all knowing, ruling deity can. That measure and that expectation to live up to that type of model, you will fail every single time. Now, is there one working definition? For me, in my experience, based on my travels and exposure to different types of people, cultures, I don't think there's one particular working definition. I think that each individual should and can use a model that one works for them, but they should also be clear that the model that they're working from may not be the model that the person that they are engaging in this relationship with. And I'm just saying relationship, it doesn't necessarily have to be intimate, it could be friendship. The model that the person that you're engaging with and in may not be sharing the same model as you. And you have to recognize that and be aware of that. And then at some point, either make a decision whether there's going to be a shared space in our models where, we exchange this energy, or we either agree like this is the model that's going to work and that's going to prevail between us, but there needs to be a discussion to clarify what model and what representation are we using here.
Yes.
I remember years ago I got introduced to the Greek form of love, where they had, I think it was like 4 or 5 different forms, and one represents the type of love that a mother and a child has. One represents a love for, your brother. One love, just a universal love. It was just, one was an intimate love. And I was like, and I think that's a good model, right? Like, so, and I think that if a person, if you're engaging with someone and you're saying, well, okay, what model are we using? And then you said, well, we're going to use this one. Right. And okay, so now I have a clear understanding of the expectations once you point out what model, right? Yeah. And because how many times, I'm sure you've had the experience where you've been in an engagement with someone and you're saying, well, you should know, right? Have you ever had that?
So many times.
Right. And how did you respond when someone said, well, you should know what I like. You should know how to do it, because if you love me,
this is how you're supposed to do it. Oh man, so many times, man. And it's like, listen, man, I'm not, a magician. I don't read minds. I don't read what's in your head. I shouldn't know. The assumption of, oh, I should know. It's caused so many, arguments, and where there need not to be, arguments or whatnot. Yep. So many times.
Yeah. So and likewise, and because again, I had to always be distinct on explaining that my expression is this. I pride myself on being transparent. So my expression of the term or the concept that we're describing as love, this is how it expresses itself. Mine is not some so-called based on just language, right?
Yes.
There's certain actions that are involved and certain behavioral patterns that I look for. I know there's many books written on this topic, but anytime someone writes a book on a particular topic, I always have to put it in the perspective of this is particularly this person's opinion and perspective.
Point of view,
and point of view on this topic, which is where you get okay, I agree with that, I disagree with that, and some people, it may resonate with them, they're like, this resonates with me, then okay, so you've agreed to adopt that model, right? So I think that's the baseline. I think before we even start talking about unconditional, is to define, get a working definition of love.
All right. Thank you very much for sticking to the end and watching this. Just go ahead and do me a quick favor. Click on the subscribe button right now.